It is a huge honor to be sitting here with you this morning, this afternoon, Avigdor. Everyone who is not familiar, Avigdor Kahalani, Israeli war hero from the 1973 Yom Kippur War. Hopefully we'll get some of the details. One of the most amazing and miraculous battles from the Yom Kippur War. Very involved in politics, a member of the Labor Party, started your own party, the Third Way, Derech HaShlishit. I was here in Israel. I was already involved politically back then. For those Gush Etzion Efrat people, we just learned that you, Avigdor Kahalani, was very instrumental in helping us get building permits to build on Tamar. And you should be very happy to know I see Tamar from my window. And the first 100 families already living there. The school already has school children there, the first 100 school children. So we are seeing the fruits of some of your labor regarding Efrat and the Tamar Hill. So thank you very much for that. That's unbelievable. Wow. Why am I with you here today, Avigdor? Next week is the Moskowitz Prize ceremony, the Cherna and Irving Moskowitz ceremony for Zionism in Jerusalem. You have been involved with the Moskowitzes and this prize, the ceremony, for years. You're on the directorship, one of the members. So we're here to talk about that. And for those who don't know, it's Monday. Coming Monday, everyone go sign up for tickets. It's in Jerusalem, right? And they will be able to see Avigdor in Ein Surim, right? Part of Ir David area in Jerusalem. I'm honored to be sitting here with you, and reading the stories of your battle in the 1973 Yom Kippur War.
You forgot about 67.
And 67 as well. So please fill me in on 67. Then we'll go to 73.
67. I was company commander. I had a 14 tank 1-4, and I was the first Israeli tank crossing the border in Gaza Strip. My mission was to invade to Khan Yunis, and I stuck with the first one, the first tank. I jumped to the second one, I stuck with him, and I jumped to the third one, and I found myself the first Israeli tank in the main road in Khan Yunis.
Really?
And after that I invaded to a new area, and the name after that Gush Katif. I was the first person with my tank near the beach, in the dune, a beautiful tree.
Wow.
And after that I fought in Rafah. We fought all over the day, and at the end of the day I got a mission to be the first Israeli tank on the 7th Brigade on El Arish. El Arish is the capital of Sinai.
Right.
And I found myself in ambush. And
in El Arish?
Close to El Arish. And they shot my tank. All my tank was on fire. 2 of my crew was killed, and I jumped from the tank. And after 7 hours, I arrived to the hospital to Beersheba. I was in the hospital a year.
A year.
A year. Yeah. 60% of my body was burned, and I had 12 operations, plastic operation, skin graft operation. And after a year, I decided to go back to the tanks. If you ask what is the medal, this is the medal, not what I got in the war.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and after a year in the hospital, even the doctor said that there is no chance that I'll be survived with 60% of burn. Anyway, in 73 war, I was after a year in the hospital.
Before you go to the 73 war, I'm a Golanchik, right? I'm Gius 95, right? I'm much younger than you are. But for me to think about going to tanks, I have to be out, be able to run around, right? Jump, be a maniac. Think about being stuck in a tank, I can't. After you're in a tank, and you receive the wounds, and then to return to tanks, what made you go back to that and not think, you know what, I did my time in tanks, let me go do something else?
Look, I decided at that time to go back to the tank, but it was I was scared from maybe I have a post-trauma, and I didn't know. And I thought maybe it's very inside of my mind, and one time it can jump, again, and I cannot control myself. But the main decision is I thought that I have the feeling that I can continue to give to my country and to participate in to be a commander. And during this, I became a battalion commander. And this is the main decision in my life. All my family and the friends around me, they look at me like I'm sugar. Yeah, I'm crazy. But the feeling inside that I had at that time that I can give from myself to the country. I'm not going to be a poor guy sitting with my wife at home and think about what had passed. That's it, and I decided to go back to the tanks. Anyway, it was a hard decision, but I did it.
Wow. All right, so and then you were going to the 1973 Yom Kippur War.
73, I was a battalion commander. My battalion had 44 tanks. We located not far from the Suez Canal. And 10 days before the war started in Rosh Hashanah, they asked me to take all my crews by aeroplane from Sinai to the Golan Heights. And we moved to the Golan Heights, 44 tanks. We got tanks from the warehouse near the Golan Heights. And we've been for 10 days in the Golan Heights before Yom Kippur, which means that somebody knew before the war there's going to be a war there. And this is the reason they moved me from Sinai to the Golan Heights. The name of my battalion was Oz 77. Is Oz is 77,
right,
of course, and in the 7th Brigade. Just in a day before the war started, the army decided to bring the 7th Brigade, the brigade that I was belonged to them, to the Golan Heights. And we started the war, around 170 tanks in the Golan Heights at 2 o'clock when the war started, but most of the tanks didn't know the area.
Because you were from down south.
Yeah, we came from the Negev, or some of us from the Sinai, and we didn't know how to fight in a volcanic area. It's many stones, you can operate your tanks just in the roads. It's completely different. And we found ourselves with the mission to block the Syrian, and this is what we have done.
You say that so nonchalantly. But you said you were 170 tanks. There were thousands of Syrian tanks against you. How did you feel when all of a sudden you realized that, I don't remember the exact number, but how big the force of Syrian artillery and tanks were that you had to defend, knowing that if the Golan falls, then the Galil is right there, and then Syria basically takes over and conquers Israel?
In the first day, we lost 25 aircraft. And for this day, for a week, we didn't see any Israeli aircraft.
Wow.
And we didn't have umbrella
protective area.
And artillery, they've shot thousands of shells all over. It's unbelievable, without any limit. And the ratio between them and us was 1 Israeli tank against 10.
1 to 10.
This is most of the time. Usually, I thought that we have the best tank in the world and the best crew in the world. But during the war, I found that it's not true, because our tank is above 3 meters high, and their tank is above a little bit 2 meters. It's the silhouette is completely different, 1 meter. Most of their tanks was camouflage. They painted with camouflage. I couldn't see that at the end of time. And they have the engine, the armor, they're better than us. And The main gun was 115 millimeter gun. They T-62. They could shoot for 4 kilometer range without any problem, and they hit the target in the first shell. And we had 105 millimeter gun. We used to shoot for 1.5 kilometers, or sometimes.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and we used to shoot 3 shells to get the target. And another problem is every Soviet tank, the Syrian tank, was infrared system. And during the night, they hit many of my tank because of the infrared system. We didn't have infrared system, and our gunners was like a blind. They couldn't identify the enemy and shoot them back. It was hard in the first night. We fought against them on the Saturday night and Sunday morning. Sunday noon, most of the Golan Heights invaded by the Syrian, even the Hermon Mountains, and all the south until the center was invaded by them. The another brigade was there, 188, the Barak Brigade. We lost it. Good fighters, but they couldn't stop them. And they have decided to bring new forces from Damascus on Monday, and the attack was in Tuesday morning. And that moment was almost we have decided to withdraw. My commander decided to withdraw, and after that he changed his mind, and we attacked them back. And I was maybe the only person that I saw they are coming. At that moment, 160 tank. I was alone on the side, and after that I bring to the combat 12 tank, and we shot all of them, most of them. We survived 3 tanks in this combat on Tuesday noon. 2 days after that, we were in the way to Damascus. Same battalion, same people, same soldiers.
No, correct me if I'm wrong, if my memory and if I read correctly. I remember learning about tank battle. I think it's from your battle. I remember hearing our tanks were outnumbered, and you were behind a rampa, you were behind a ramp, right? And you either had 3 or 4 tanks left, and one tank used to go up and then down, and because and then switch positions and come from somewhere else. So to the Syrians, it looked like you were many more than just 3 or 4 tanks.
It's during the first night, we couldn't stop them, and I decided to shoot to give them the feeling that most of the Israel army is waiting for them, and we shot many shells. We didn't hit the target.
It was just to give them the feeling that there were many more.
They gave them the feeling that we are many tanks there. During the night, you know, if you see a tank shooting during the night, it's scary. And it's given the feeling, and they decided to stop during the night, and they start to attack in the morning. But in Tuesday, no, the main problem was that had they come over the hills and 160 tank, I was here and I saw what happened, and nobody was there, and I moved to bring new tanks, and the competition was who is going to be on the hill. And I decided to go to invade to the hill and to stay there and to try to stop them. And I remember that I prayed to the God, just help me to bring my tanks to the top of the hill before they will come to the hills, because if they will come to the hills, they will run to the Galilee without any problem. And we arrived, we saw 3-4 tanks already on the hills.
Then the Syrians got there first?
Yeah, but we shot them. And when we arrived, the valley of the tears, what we call Emek HaMacha, it was dark for many tanks from Saturday, and Tuesday. And we start to shoot like crazy. And, I didn't control what happened there at that time, what's going on with my battalion. I found a fire position, and I shot, I believe my gunner hit maybe more than 25 tanks.
So again, from what I've read, and I think the reason why many, if not everyone, considers the way you acted in that battle as a true hero, saving Israel very much from the oncoming Syrian army, is because of how you acted of making it feel like there were so many Israeli tanks.
My commander asked me, how many tanks do you have at the moment that I drove along? And I said, I told him, look, I'm going to give you a message, Belashon Saginaor.
Right.
It means I'm going to line you.
Right.
And I said, here is Avigdor, I have a 40 tank with me. No, I got another one, 41, and I'm in my way to block them. And I was with one tank at that time. And after that, after an hour and a half, I brought more of the 7 tanks that belonged to me, and another 5 tanks that he didn't found their commanders, and I collect all of them.
So it sounds like the most you ended up getting was 12, 13 tanks. 12 tanks. And how many Syrian oncoming tanks?
At this moment.
160.
On the Valley of the Trees, we found more than 250 tanks after the war, and many vehicles, another vehicles was there. But I'm talking just about tanks, most of them T-62.
So what happened? They just stopped in their tracks and turned around? They stopped and then the soldiers ran away?
We shot most of them.
You shot most of them, even though you were
some people
unnumbered.
said that the last people that they didn't cross the border, and some of them maybe they ran away. But no, most of them was on the valley.
Got it. But still, from what I understand, even from hearing from you, any textbook battle, in trying to teach this battle, it seems like because of the Syrian forces, tanks totally outnumbering your forces, it doesn't make sense how you were able to win.
I agree with you.
Logic.
I found myself before I was on the hill. I found myself 4 tanks in 25 meters in the front of me. I was alone, and I shot all of them.
Unbelievable.
It's a knife combat. You are Golani, yes. It's a knife combat, like in the before, go in the tunnel,
right?
And
hand to hand.
Hand to hand. It's never happened in tanks so close.
Wow.
Usually you shoot a 1.5 kilometers, 2 kilometers, but no like that. 25 meters in front of me, and I shot all of them.
So as a commander, how did you give over the motivation to your soldiers to overcome that fear about being totally outnumbered by the Syrian tank forces?
When you commander, you feel like you are oldest brother.
That you're what?
Oldest brother.
You're the older brother.
Yeah, and you feel like you have the responsibility to bring back all the soldiers, and you have to be the example. And if you hear your soldiers after the war ask, we didn't see you, we listened to your voice, it means you were not there. If they say, I didn't see your back, it means I was in another area. But they saw my back all the time. I was the first tank running to the front, and they was behind me. This is one of the problems. Another, I think we've been professional better than them, and maybe another reason is that God protect us. It was like a miracle. It was like a nest. It's when you think about that, it was a mission impossible, not because we have done it, because if you look at the numbers,
right,
understand the motivation.
Right.
It was a moment that I saw that nobody moved to take the hills, and I called to my soldiers chicken.
You called your soldiers chicken?
Yeah. I said.
They didn't move? You called them to move? They didn't move?
They didn't move.
Wow.
They listened to my voice.
Right.
All of them, I put them in my frequency, the radio. And when I saw that I'm alone, I said, am I see chicken in my unit? And this brings the motivation to them to start to move.
He called them chicken, and then they moved. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, so I want to jump to a different issue now. Those who are familiar with modern Israeli history are familiar with you being very much a force behind the struggle for Israel to keep the Golan Heights in Israeli sovereign hands and not give it over to any other foreign entity, Syria. Is part of the reason you were such a force in fighting for the Golan because of your personal battle in 1973, or no connection?
No, I don't think so. Look, it's not because of how many my soldiers were killed there. No, this is not how many monuments we have there. No, this is not the reason. The reason is I belong to the Labour Party, and Mr. Rabin sent me to the Golan Heights in the valley, Jordan Valley, to stay there on a TV show or something like that, and said we are not moving from here.
This is what year, 1992?
1992, yeah. Before we came to the Knesset.
Before the elections?
Before the election. I was in the Jordan Valley and Golan Heights. And I talked and I said, we never will move from here. And after that, I saw that he changed his mind, and maybe he's right to do it. He can do it. He's Prime Minister. But I couldn't stay anymore in the idea that we are going to run away. The problem is not because I fought there. Maybe I knew the area. I was, after a few years after that, I became brigade commander, division commander in Golan Heights, and I fought again in 1982 in Lebanon. I was division commander. This is not the reason. The reason is, do you trust your neighbors, or you believe what they said they want peace, something like that? And the completely different. My commander, Janusz Ben-Gal, passed away. He said, we can withdraw. And I said, no. He said, how come that he is a general, 2-star general, I'm a general with 1-star general, and you fought together? I said to anybody that asks question, if we have to protect Golan Heights, we know how to do it in the same way. But the question is now, if he believes the Syrian forces and the Assad, that he will keep peace process between us and them. Everybody wants peace. And he said he believed him. And I said, I don't believe him. And if we will change the situation, we have to wait 50, 100 years, something like that. And, in fact, you can see what happened now. And we fought. Rabin was ready to withdraw from Golan Heights. At that time, we built the Third Way movement, and they became a party. And the rest is history.
Right. And does it come up in conversations today, saying, look what Syria is today? Could you have imagined if Israel would have given the Golan Heights to Syria, how our situation would be today?
I believe they will move their forces to the Jordan River near the Rosh Pina and Chatzor Galilit or whatever. And if you ask me if we can protect ourselves, no. If we will survive with the idea they are near the Jordan, no. We had to fight again and to invade to the ground again. And the question is all the time is, who is your enemy, and what he means that he said, okay, give me my area and I give you peace. Look what happened in Egypt. Did you see a bus coming from Cairo to visit Israel with people? Let's talk about taxi. Did you see? Let's talk about motorcycles. Somebody come to visit here?
No. It's a cold peace.
Why not? Okay. This is
No, explain for people to understand. What's the point you're trying to say?
It's a cold peace, of course, and we have to protect ourselves. We don't have a spare country. This is the only country that we
don't have a spare country,
and we have to protect ourselves. And if you believe them, I don't believe them. I don't believe. I have a lot of experience. My father fought for the country. My grandfather decided to come from Yemen 95 years ago. I don't believe them. I don't have a reason to believe them. Now, if they will improve it, let's talk 50 years from now.
Wow. All right, well, final issue. There's so much I would love to talk to you about, but one issue I have to talk to you about. The Moskowitz Prize. Why are you involved? Why is this an important prize that we have now in Israel the past number of years, thanks to the Moskowitz family?
It's not secret that when I built the Third Way movement, somebody, when I was in the state, bring me to the Moskowitz house. And we were sitting in the living room, and we talked, some Americans, I didn't know them. And I said, what I'm going to do. And they said, vote against the government. No, I'm in the Labour Party, I'm not going to vote now. But try to build a new movement to try to convince Mr. Rabin that we're not going to withdraw. And I put my plan on the table. What is my plan? Right? We're talking about movement. And Dr. Moskowitz, he said, would you like to come with me to the kitchen? I said, yes. He said, he took me to the kitchen. And he said, look, the first time I saw you, and I don't trust all the people sitting in the living room. and I trust only you, and I support you. And he supported me. And the election day, he was sitting in my headquarters.
Really?
Yeah. You can see in all the TV show.
This is for the 1996 elections?
Yeah. He was sitting near me in the election, and he supported to build the Third Way. This is the moment that we start to be like a friend. And I was the first guy that taking care of Ras El Amud. And I knew that he bought the area. And he showed me, he said, look, you see the area? Don't use your finger. This is mine. I said, what? He said, mine. Now 2 persons in the world know, my wife and you. If somebody know, it's because of you.
For those unfamiliar, Ras El Amud is an area of the eastern side of Jerusalem where Jews are now living again.
Houses in,
right, thanks to the Moskowitz family.
David in the old city.
Right.
Yeah, he was a great man. The moment they decided to build the Prize Moskowitz, the
Moskowitz Prize,
they asked me to be involved, and I was most of the meeting was in my office, and just this year I didn't was sitting in like a chairman. Chairman is chairman.
Right.
She is the chairman.
Chairman Moskowitz is the chairman.
All the committee is here.
And
we are sitting in my table, my office, and we discussed, and we offer her what we have decided. Usually, we didn't have any problem. They accepted.
And
she accepted.
What's so important about the Moskowitz Prize?
Look,
it's the Moskowitz Prize for Zionism.
Look, we have to give courage to those people. They build the country. And they are Zionists. You know, some people don't like to talk about Zionism. It's like, you are old-fashioned, talk about Zionism. We need the Zionism until now. My grandfather, in 1925, that he moved from Yemen, he was a Zionist, was in Israel at that time. And all of us, we are Zionists. This is, we should, and what we are doing now with the prize, how you said in English, encourage them, the people, to continue the way to build the country, to support the idea that we are not going to move, and to give the spirit to the new generation. And this is the idea of Prize Moskowitz. So you get the prize, you are okay with the idea to protect the country, and this is the reason we have decided to give you the prize. This is the old idea of Prize Moskowitz. It's not to give money to somebody. It's not that. Moskowitz, I think it supports many settlements, and I know how much money he spent. I don't know exactly, but I knew. And the idea to continue with this Prize Moskowitz is to think about long range, the future of the country, to found people there. This is the flag, hold the flag, this is Zionism. If you hold the flag, nothing will happen to our country. And you got the prize, and you show all your friends why you got the prize.
Got it. So the Moskowitz Prize is about injecting the new generation with the flag of pride in our Jewish identity, in our Jewish country, and in Zionism itself, because it's only that way we're able to continue building the country.
We started with few people they asked to involve in the prize. Now we have every year more than 200 ask us to be
To be involved.
To be involved.
So, final point, we just celebrated the 70th anniversary of the modern state of Israel, 3,000 years old, 70 years young. That's a line I like to say about our country. What message do you have for everyone listening today? Everything you experienced that we are now celebrating and enjoying the 70th, now 71st year of our modern state of Israel.
קהלת אמר, דור הולך ודור בא והארץ לעולם עומד. עכשיו, translated.
Okay. Kohelet said, okay, one generation comes, one generation goes, but the land remains forever.
יפה מאוד, you know English. And yes, this is the idea in our country. אתה היית בגולני, אנחנו שומרים על המדינה בתורנות.
We each in our own way, in our own units, we are watching and guarding over the country.
Generation of my father protect the country. He bring the country to me like a gift. I give it to my son. My son give it to his son. And this is the idea, that all the idea in Israel, that we didn't convince our neighbors to live with us in peace, and they still want to push us to the Mediterranean Sea. And you know what is the idea? I don't know to swim.
Avigdor Kahalani, it has been such a pleasure to meet you, to talk to you, to get more people to hear your story, especially English speakers to hear directly from you. Keep on doing everything you do to help hand over that torch, hand over that flag to the next generation and the next generations. And I promise I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to have my children do their best. And together, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will be celebrating the 140th anniversary of the State of Israel. Chazak ve'amatz. Thank you. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you are in Israel next Monday, May 7th, in Jerusalem, go to the website of the Moskowitz Prize, get your tickets, and come. An amazing, uplifting, Zionist, fabulous event with a concert from Avram Fried, but really, really amazing. Go to the website, order your tickets. Shalom, shalom, from Mishpachat Kahalani. Take care, everyone.